Welcome back, Visions fans. Doing something a little bit different today, having some fun with this presentation. Most of my character reviews that you've probably seen by now, I'm usually a little more optimistic, looking for the value that certain characters can have as opposed to kind of beating them if they're down, if there's things that they're not so good at. This is the complete opposite. This is my opportunity to finally trash some of these characters. I'm going to be using that word a lot, and I can guarantee I'm about to piss off two fan bases. I try to stay away, if I can, from saying anything controversial, no real hot takes, no clickbait if I can help it, but boy, I am going to get absolutely doxxed by two communities after this video. So right now we're going to kick things off with my top 5 worst War of the Visions characters. I'm limiting this to UR units only that have EX upgrades, just to make sure I have like a level field to compare them on. That being said, we're going to start off with some honorable mentions on this presentation. The first one, Mashri. Now, she does have some legitimate use. Her Calamity Guard ability is amazing. I've actually used her a fair amount in PvE content with the light cast. She gets a ton of synergy. Vision cards are great, so she's not the worst character. She's got some bulk. Her EX upgrades were pretty good, but I just haven't seen her in PvP. It's really just been more use otherwise, so that's fine. Give her that special mention. Eld is another one. There was a time when the ice meta was super strong that I actually did get some good success with him, but at this point in the game, his EX upgrades don't really give him anything special, and overall, he could just be better. Special mention, I'll leave it at that. And then finally, Whisper. I actually did a whole Reddit write-up post on this where Whisper at one point in the game was really potentially good, but the game has come so far now that there's a ton of resistance penetrations. There's a ton of extra imperils like unit or AoE resistance down. There's also element resistance downs that her EX upgrades and her health pool. There's just no way that she can actually survive in PvP. That being said, for a lot of the automated content PvE, you still can build her up pretty easily with 5 units as opposed to 3, and obviously the enemies don't have as much penetration or strategy as the PvP content. So she still's got a really good use in the game, but really just not usable by and large in the rest of it when you play other players. With that being said, let's jump into number 5. Winter Ramada. Boy, she has a massive attack stat, but abysmal survivability. She's like one of the top highest attack stats in the game that you can get. Her use is really super niche PvE content that if you're trying to get off a specific kind of water chain, really going for some damage overkills in like Trial of Reckoning or the Esper battles that we just had recently. Her kit makes no sense at all to me. She's got a bunch of status effects, but she's got minus 20% magic resistance, which means if you're trying to 97 Faith her, she's just going to get blown out of the water by anybody with holy or a decent amount of accuracy on a magic attack. And she's got a handful of abilities that require HP. Now she does have Drain Force that's relatively unreliable. It's just not strong enough considering her HP levels are pretty low, and she's got other abilities that use her HP to already bring her down to a level where she's paper thin. So doesn't really add anything to the water cast as well, in my opinion. They've already got a ton of DPS. She just doesn't really bring anything that they don't already have. So she's my number 5 worst character in the game. If we're getting into number 4, this is one of the ones where I'm about to piss off a whole guild. Medina. There is a guild. There's a bunch of Medina stands out there. She was great at one time, but at this point of the game, one of the worst characters in the game. Crazy bad weaknesses. Minus 20% to all except for magic, which is 25% resistance. So she's just absolutely paper thin. There was a time in the game where her evasion was good enough. You give her the Shiva card. That these resistances, it didn't really matter because evasion, there wasn't a lot of guaranteed hit. There wasn't a lot of accuracy, so she could be okay. Not anymore. There's just not enough evasion for her to survive, so she's just gone at the sight of anything. The Black Mage job is also trash at this point. Probably the worst job in the game. There's so many other unique magic jobs that have more instant cast, more utility to the abilities, more interesting breaks, that the Black Mage job is just bad. And then finally, she does at least have a decent TMR. She does have a good limit break. That 38% Ice Imperil is no joke. She's still a good unit for grinding if you want to just throw her on auto. She does at least have Spirit and Defense down on the Green Mage sub-job. So there's some takeaways there, but boy, she is like still really bad in the broad scheme of the game. So it's the Medina Guild. I apologize. This next one too, I'm about to get doxxed off the face of the earth. On my number 3 worst unit in the game by all of the Orange A fans. Oh my god, Eileen is so bad. I know, RNJ, I'm sorry. I know she's your favorite character. I used to have fun with her in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, the original, but man, she's got trash agility at 55. The EX upgrade, at least with the EX upgrades, most of them, they're like, all right, we're going to make these units better than they are by either making them really good at the things they were already good at, or hedging their weakness so it's a little bit more competitive with the state of the game. Agility, they're like, nah, 55 is good. That's fine. She could stay at that. That's horrible. Horrible. There's no way for her to compete in the turn order of anything in this game. The second thing, trash accuracy. It's absolutely horrible. Even with Secrets of the Heart on a teammate that gives the 50% luck, it's not great. She's got no guaranteed hit. So yeah, so she's just not going to hit anything in general, even with the potential buffs you could get her externally. No defense or spirit innately, and a minus 10% to magic. Obviously, at this stage in the game, magic being so prevalent, any kind of weakness like that at all that you have to dedicate resources to bring somehow positive to at least make them survive a little bit, really hard. So she's kind of paper thin from that regard in terms of what she can potentially get hit with. Horrible EX upgrades, like just absolutely bad EX upgrades. So she is an AP glutton as well. Average ability is 25 AP, and only one buff if you were to like actually keep her kit that's got 31 TP. So basically she would start off the fight with that 31 TP ability. She's going to get 15 AP from it, and then after using an ability, she's basically just going to have to like basic attack for a couple turns to essentially get that back up. So unless you give her bells, which is a kind of a waste of the bells accessory, putting it on Eileen, you're really not going to get optimal value. I will say this at least, there is some really good Earth synergy. That with Ober in here now, the Pierce resistance down, the Earth Vision cards are the best in the game. Overall, at least that kind of makes her better, but boy is the overall kit still bad. And if we're going into those EX upgrades, this is the first one, Shadow Stick, the enhancement. So they took the AoE from that little, corner intercardinal attack. They made it a slightly bigger AoE. It's still a height of 1, but she's got a couple extra squares now she can hit you with. It's pretty feisty. Eileen's got some temperament now. And the second EX upgrade, Earthen Glory, they made Universal Glory. The only difference, they increased the modifier by 30%. That was it. They're like, we're just going to make this ability a little bit stronger. So she's got some extra AoE damage that she didn't formerly have. But the rest of the kit is so bad. It's just not a good character. I'm so sorry it had to be done. My number 2 character, I actually made this switch last second. This character was my number 1. And then I really thought about it, and I'm like, nope, I can't do that. The number 2 worst character in the game, Yurma. Bro, this character is bad. She's so bad. We're going to get to this ability in a second when we talk about the EX upgrades. Just absolutely trash accuracy. She does at least have a guaranteed hit at 18 AP. That was part of the EX upgrade where they took her ability and at least said, okay, we'll make it a guaranteed hit. That being said, it's a range of 3 and a height of 0, so good luck using it on like 50% of the maps. The second one, this full body blow, you know what they did? They're like, you know what we need to do to make Yurma better? Take the cast time off it. That's it. That's all they did. They're like, we're going to take this ability. We're just going to take the cast time off. So instead of taking half a turn to miss her enemies, she's now just going to miss her enemies immediately. That's the only difference that's really going to effectively happen. That's it. That was the only things they decided she needed. She has all slash attacks throughout the entire kit with no slash resistance penetration or defense penetration. There's one attack that has defense penetration, but it's only on that attack. It's not a permanent passive. So it's really easy to hedge against that damage type. She does have minus 10% pierce resistance and minus 25 magic resistance. Bro, that is so bad. At least Engelbert with that minus 25 or minus 30% magic resistance, at least he's got a ton of HP and healing potency up. He's got courage. There's a bunch of things that still make him a survivable unit. This, dude, put her in the ground. It's so bad you can't even recover from it. Axes suck. That's her weapon. Like, there's one axe in the game. They're like, here's the golden axe. Have fun. Between that and the ninja blade, those are the only, the two weapon types that just they've never invested any time in. So there's no real interesting ways to build her weapon-wise. It's been the same weapon for like 10 months. More, over a year at this point. What ended up being the saving grace from her being the worst unit of the game, though, was some of the utility that I'll give her some credit for. On the Thief sub-job, she does have Steal Time, which is good for PvE. Her limit break is unit resistance down 38%, which is a pretty strong in peril. And then the Knight sub-job does have some breaks, like Agility break and Attack and Magic, that I could see a case where maybe you put her in the PvE content for that upside. But like, that's really it. There's really nothing good about this character at all. Which brings us to our number one, And this actually physically pained me to put this here because she's actually my favorite story character in the game. I'm like a stan for this character. If you said, Will, what's your next Christmas unit you want? Aldoa. Bro, his character's so bad. It's like unrecoverable. Same problem with Winter Ramada. Bad evasion, like the percentage rates for her HP level. She does have abilities on the soldier job, same concept, that use HP. The Drain Force isn't potent enough because her HP levels never really get high enough. And obviously you need certain things to be satisfied to use Drain Force in the first place. It's basically the same problem right out of the gate. The second problem is her EX upgrades are a sham. Self-sacrifice, that passive that decreases all of her resistances, gives her an extra 15% HP. Really doesn't matter in the broad scheme of the game when you're paper thin and can't evade anything. And the second one, I like actually laughed out loud when I saw this. I'll show you at the end here. Really bad range. All of her attacks are basically short range. So for a really like low HP character that can't evade much, she's way too close to the battlefield. Really bad accuracy. She's got no guaranteed hit in the game. That sucks. And then same thing as Yurma, all slash attacks with no slash resistance penetration or defense penetration. Now, when the Exorcist Vision card came out, like, a little over a year ago at this point, a lot of people are like, this is broken. 35% slash resistance penetration, and she can use triple kick. That's actually a legitimately good ability and a legitimately good card. The problem is it's just not good enough because she's so bad. Even with that Exorcist card, she's still not a viable unit in PvP. And even PvE, it's like, it's only if you have a team that requires all wind units that you would ever really use her. The Osmos Field, this is the other upgrade. I don't get it. I really don't get it. So they took it down from 30 AP to 15 AP. Basically absorbs TP from someone. So like a tank or a healer, which uses a lot of TP abilities, I guess. They halved the AP cost, and they made it from a cross shape to a diamond shape. That was it. They're like, this is the ability that's going to make Aldoa really good. What the hell is this? What actually is this? I've never used this, even in PvE content. Like, it's so mind-blowingly bad. None of this made her better than she already was. At least the saving grace is JP seems to have some trust mastery updates that we'll see, like, who knows when. And Aldoa is getting some, so at least there's that saving grace. But yeah, that's the worst character in the game. And that's my list, my top 5 list. Deal with it. I'm so sorry. I know there's a lot of people that probably disagree on some of their favorite characters here, but I stand by this. I'm pretty confident in the ranking. I'm not hedging against anything. And that's it. So hopefully this was a fun video to watch. Really can't wait to see the comments and the reaction from it. And that's about it. So I'll see you guys soon. I'll have some Aranea character reviews coming out soon with some Guild War tier rankings and some map analysis as well. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll talk to you all soon.